50 facts you didn't learn in school. Right now, inside your body, there are trillions of bacteria living with you. In fact, scientists estimate you carry roughly as many bacterial cells as human cells. That means you are not just one organism, you're more like an entire ecosystem. Most of these bacteria are helpful. They help digest food, protect you from disease, and even influence your mood. So technically, you're never really alone. Your body is more like a walking planet filled with microscopic life. Humanity has mapped nearly 100% of the surface of Mars in high detail. But here's the shocking part. We have mapped less than 25% of the ocean floor here on Earth. More than 80% of our oceans remain unexplored. There could be entire mountain ranges, deep trenches, and unknown species living in darkness miles beneath us. We spend billions exploring space, while most of our own planet remains a mystery. Most people imagine Cleopatra standing next to the pyramids when they were built. But the Great Pyramid of Giza was constructed around 2500 BC. Cleopatra lived around 30 BC, meaning she was closer in time to the 1969 moon landing than to the building of the pyramids. History feels compressed in school textbooks, but in reality, thousands of years separated those events. Ancient history is much older than we think. A long time ago, a day on Earth didn't last 24 hours. Hundreds of millions of years ago, a full day was only about 22 hours long. The reason? The moon is slowly moving away from Earth, which slightly slows our planet's rotation. The change is tiny, about 1.7 milliseconds per century, but over millions of years, it adds up. Time itself is slowly stretching. Sharks have been swimming in Earth's oceans for over 400 million years. Trees, as we know them, appeared around 350 million years ago. That means sharks existed before the first tree ever grew on land. They survived mass extinctions, asteroid impacts, and dramatic climate shifts. While dinosaurs came and went, sharks just kept swimming. Sometimes the scariest creatures are also the most ancient. Your brain makes up only about 2% of your body weight, yet it consumes around 20% of your total energy. Even when you're resting, your brain is constantly firing signals, processing information, and maintaining vital functions. It contains around 86 billion neurons, each forming thousands of connections. That means the number of neural connections in your brain may exceed the number of stars in our galaxy. The number of possible unique chess games is estimated to be around 10 to the power of 120. That number is so massive it has its own name, the Shannon number. For comparison, scientists estimate there are about 10 to the power of 80 atoms in the observable universe. That means there are more possible chess games than atoms in existence. A simple board game contains more possibilities than the cosmos itself. The acid inside your stomach is strong enough to dissolve metal. It has a pH level similar to battery acid. Of course, your body protects itself by constantly producing a thick layer of mucus to prevent it from digesting itself. And every few days, your stomach lining completely replaces itself. If it didn't, your stomach would literally digest its own walls. Your body is constantly rebuilding itself just to survive. Octopuses are some of the strangest creatures on Earth. They have 3 hearts, 2 pump blood to the gills, and 1 pumps blood to the rest of the body. Even stranger, their blood is blue because it uses a copper-based molecule instead of iron to carry oxygen. And here's the twist. The heart that pumps to the body actually stops beating when they swim. That's why octopuses prefer crawling along the ocean floor instead of swimming. This might sound fake, but bananas are naturally radioactive. They contain potassium, and a tiny portion of that potassium is a radioactive isotope called potassium-40. Don't worry, it's completely harmless unless you eat millions of bananas at once. But technically, every time you eat a banana, you're exposed to a small amount of radiation. It's a reminder that radiation isn't always dangerous. It's actually a natural part of our world. As strange as it sounds, wombats produce cube-shaped poop. Scientists believe this unusual shape prevents it from rolling away, which helps wombats mark their territory more effectively. The cube shape forms because of varying elasticity in different sections of the wombat's intestines. Nature doesn't always follow the rules we expect. Sometimes it builds cubes out of biology. The Eiffel Tower isn't always the same height. During hot summer days, the iron expands due to heat and can grow up to 15 centimeters taller. In winter, it shrinks again. Metal expands when heated, and even massive structures aren't immune to basic physics. The world around you is constantly changing, even if you don't notice it. Scientists believe there's so much gold inside Earth's core that if it were brought to the surface, it could cover the entire planet in a layer about 1.5 feet thick. Most of Earth's gold sank toward the core during formation billions of years ago. The precious metals we mine today are just tiny leftovers from asteroid impacts. When you wake up, you are actually about 1 to 2 centimeters taller than when you go to bed. During the day, gravity compresses the cartilage between your spinal discs. At night, while lying down, your spine decompresses again. Gravity slowly shrinks you every day, and sleep restores you. On the exoplanet HD 189733b, scientists believe it rains molten glass sideways. Winds there can reach over 5,000 miles per hour, carrying particles of glass across the atmosphere. Temperatures exceed 1,700 degrees Fahrenheit. Compared to that, Earth suddenly feels very peaceful. Trees are not as silent as they seem. Through underground fungal networks, often called the Wood Wide Web, trees can send nutrients and chemical signals to each other. If one tree is attacked by insects, it can warn nearby trees to strengthen their defenses. Forests are more connected than we ever imagined. Believe it or not, the human body emits a faint, visible light. It's caused by chemical reactions inside your cells that produce tiny amounts of photons. The glow is about 1,000 times weaker than what human eyes can detect, but it's there. You are literally glowing right now. In 1896, the Anglo-Zanzibar War became the shortest recorded war in history. It lasted between 38 and 45 minutes. After a dispute over succession, British forces bombarded the palace, and the conflict ended in less than an hour. Some wars in history lasted decades. This one didn't even last a lunch break. Sharks have special organs called ampullae of Lorenzini that allow them to detect electrical fields in the water. They can sense the tiny electrical impulses produced by the muscles of other animals. Even if prey is buried under sand, sharks can still find it. They don't just hunt by sight, they hunt by electricity. There are more plastic lawn flamingos in the world than real flamingos living in the wild. What started as a lawn decoration trend in the 1950s exploded into millions of copies worldwide. Sometimes human culture multiplies faster than nature itself. Every time you remember something, your brain slightly rewrites it. Memories aren't perfect recordings, they're reconstructions. That means over time, details can change without you realizing it. Your past may not be as accurate as you think. The moon experiences quakes, just like Earth. Some moonquakes can last for hours. They're caused by tidal forces from Earth's gravity. Even though it looks calm and silent, the moon is still geologically active. Beneath Antarctica's thick ice sheet lie over 400 hidden lakes. Some have been sealed off for millions of years. Scientists drill carefully to study them without contamination. Life could exist there, isolated from the rest of the planet. Humans share about 60% of their DNA with bananas. That doesn't mean we're half banana. It means many basic cellular functions are shared among living organisms. Life on Earth is deeply connected at the molecular level. The universe isn't just expanding. It's expanding faster over time. Galaxies are moving away from each other at increasing speeds. One day, distant galaxies may become invisible from Earth. The night sky will slowly empty. Most of the cells in your body are replaced every 7 to 10 years. You are physically not the same person you were a decade ago. Your body constantly rebuilds itself. A simple 10-character password has more possible combinations than there are atoms in the galaxy. Digital security relies on numbers too large for the human brain to truly imagine. Jupiter's massive gravity acts like a shield, pulling in or deflecting asteroids that might otherwise hit Earth. Without Jupiter, life here may never have survived. Certain turtle species can absorb oxygen through specialized sacs near their tail, allowing them to survive underwater during winter. The number of microbes living on your skin alone exceeds the entire human population. Most planets in our solar system rotate in the same direction, but Venus does the opposite. It spins backwards, meaning the sun rises in the west and sets in the east. Even stranger, Venus rotates so slowly that one full day on Venus lasts longer than an entire year there. A single sunrise would take months. If you stood on Venus, which you definitely couldn't survive, time itself would feel completely broken. That single teaspoon of honey on your table represents the life's work of about 12 bees. A single bee produces only about 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey in its entire lifetime. To make just 1 pound of honey, bees must visit millions of flowers and fly tens of thousands of miles combined. Something that seems small and ordinary actually represents thousands of hours of effort. Oxford University began teaching students in 1096. The Aztec Empire, one of the most famous ancient civilizations, didn't begin until the 1300s. That means when the Aztecs were building their great capital city, Oxford had already existed for centuries. History doesn't move in straight lines. Different parts of the world were living in completely different eras at the same time. Your heart beats about 100,000 times a day. With each beat, it creates enough pressure to pump blood through nearly 60,000 miles of blood vessels in your body. That's more than twice around the Earth. The observable universe may contain trillions of galaxies, each filled with billions of stars. When you look at the night sky, you're only seeing a tiny fraction of what's actually out there. Studies show that cows form close friendships. They become stressed when separated from their preferred companions. Even farm animals form emotional bonds, just like humans. The human nose can detect over 1 trillion different scents. Smell is strongly connected to memory, which is why certain smells instantly bring back powerful emotions. Despite popular belief, the Great Wall of China cannot be seen from space with the naked eye. From orbit, it blends in with the surrounding landscape. It's impressive, but not visible like people think. The distance between Earth and the Moon is so large that all the planets in our solar system could fit between them with room to spare. Space is much bigger and emptier than it looks. At a specific temperature and pressure known as the triple point, water can exist as a solid, liquid, and gas all at once. It can literally boil and freeze simultaneously. Physics can look like magic. Certain metals, like sodium, react violently when dropped into water. They can spark, explode, or even catch fire instantly. Chemistry can be surprisingly dramatic. A single fluffy-looking cloud can weigh over 1,000,000 kilograms. It floats because the water droplets are spread out and supported by rising warm air. The sky above you is heavier than it appears. The human body emits a faint glow caused by chemical reactions inside our cells. It's far too weak for our eyes to see, but sensitive cameras can detect it. You are literally glowing right now. Butterflies don't taste with their mouths, they taste with sensors on their feet. When they land on a plant, they instantly know whether it's safe to lay eggs. One species of jellyfish can revert back to its juvenile form after reaching adulthood. This process makes it biologically immortal under the right conditions. It can reset its life cycle. The Earth isn't perfectly round. It's slightly wider at the equator due to its rotation. Scientists call this shape an oblate spheroid. Even our planet isn't perfectly symmetrical. In extremely quiet rooms, like soundproof chambers, people report hearing their own heartbeat, breathing, and even stomach movements. Total silence can become mentally uncomfortable. A man named Charles Osborne hiccuped continuously for 68 years. Doctors estimated he hiccuped hundreds of millions of times before it finally stopped. Jupiter's massive gravity helps deflect or absorb asteroids that might otherwise head toward Earth. Without Jupiter, our planet might have experienced far more devastating impacts. Right now, continents are slowly drifting, stars are being born, species are evolving, and billions of events are happening that you'll never witness. The world is far bigger and more active than what we learn in classrooms. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.